Hey everybody, Timothy here. Welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be the final video in our Deadpool and Wolverine series that we're doing. We're going to talk about the big battle at Cassandra Nova's lair at Dead Ant-Man. When I watched the movie, the camera was moving really fast and everyone was kind of dressed the same. It was really difficult to kind of see who was fighting who. So I'm forced to go over here to Wikipedia to see who was there. And I distinctly remember on the heroes side, we had X-23, we had Deadpool, Wolverine, we had Elektra, Blade, and Gambit. Now, I don't have stats on X-23, so we're just going to kind of throw her out for now. There's nothing for me to talk about. On the other side, though, we had a lot of people. Let's see if I can find some names here. We had Juggernaut was there. The Blob was there. The Russian, Azazel. Now, I didn't see him, but they said Bullseye was there. And Callisto was there. Lady Deathstrike was there. Psylocke was there. Quill was there. Toad was there. Pyro was there. Let me see. Who else? I think that was it. So anyway, I don't have stats for the Russian, and I don't have stats for Azazel either. So, unfortunately, I can't really talk about them either. So, we're going to go ahead and I can tell you now that the fight's not going to go like it did in the movie. There's no way. There's just no way. And you'll see as we talk about the characters a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to touch on each character a little bit. Kind of tell you what they can and can't do as far as what was going on in the movie. So this video is probably going to be a little bit longer, but because we got to talk about 10 people at least. So here we go. So we're going to start with our boy Deadpool. So in the movie, Deadpool is using guns and he's using swords for the most part. He doesn't use any bolos or a bow staff or any cluster bombs, and he doesn't teleport around. He doesn't use much in the way of throwing stars other than Wolverine's fingers. So let's take it now. He does have long swords on his character sheet here. He carries 2 swords of excellent material strength to do excellent damage. Now, in the movie, it does state that he does have adamantium long swords, so instead of being excellent material strength, they would be class 1000 material strength. That's the difference there. We're going to go over here to the player's book. We're going to go look up some guns. Now, as we talked before, the average damage of your average gun is anywhere from 6 damage to 10 damage, just depending on what kind of gun. Excuse me. And so more than likely he's using the smaller pistols from what I can tell. The gyro jets, the lasers, and the stun pistols and the concussion pistols are very kind of specific in the way they shoot. Gyro jets kind of have an explosion to the bullets. Lasers are obviously lasers. Stun pistols just kind of shoot a little energy thing, and a concussion pistol is kind of the same thing. So he's probably using either I can't see him using a cheap handgun, but he's probably either using a handgun pistol or a target pistol. It would be my guess. Both do typical 6 damage. Both are made of excellent material strength. So the only difference is in the ammo. The handgun pistol has 6, 8, or 9 shots in it, whereas the target pistol only has 1. So more than likely, he's using the handgun pistol. So you can see it right there on the chart. It has typical range. It costs $4.3 to own. It does typical 6 damage. It's shooting attack. Its rate of fire is 1 attack per 1 shot. And basically it has 6, 8, or 9 shots in it. Excellent material strength. So it can take 20 points of damage before being destroyed. So that being said, that's Deadpool. Alright, here's his stats right here. Remarkable fighting, excellent agility, strength, and endurance, good reason and psyche, and typical intuition. So on average, Deadpool's going to... Oops. Sorry about that. On average, Deadpool's going to be doing anywhere from 6 to 20 points of damage to someone that he's attacking. In the movie, I couldn't really tell if he was attacking anyone specific. It looked like a bunch of nobodies. So we're kind of done talking about Deadpool at the moment. So let's move on to our boy Wolverine here. Now, we've already kind of covered Wolverine a couple of times, but we're going to do it again. Mostly Wolverine uses his claws, and, you know, his claws, which we know can do anywhere from excellent 20 up to monstrous 75. So he's kind of the damage dealer of the team. His adamantium skeleton gives him excellent body armor against blunt attacks and typical protection against edged attacks. So he's probably, I won't call, well, I guess he's kind of the brick too, if you think about it. We've already established that regeneration, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you get it, which neither one's going to have any time to have that. So, I did see Wolverine, I think, engage Lady Deathstrike, but it was really quick, and it didn't look like it took more than maybe 3 swings, which I can tell you, is about right, from what I can tell. That's if he's not holding back, if he's actually trying to kill. That's where he's doing the monstrous damage. So that's about what I remember for him. So as you can see his stats, he has incredible fighting, remarkable agility, good strength, remarkable endurance, typical reason, monstrous intuition, and incredible psyche. Okay, now we have Elektra. So Elektra mostly uses her size. So let's take a look at her size. Elektra's preferred weapon is the sai, a 3-pronged dagger, which she could throw up to 2 areas away. Remember, that's a football field, 1 area. So she could throw it 2 football fields, basically. In combat, the sai is considered an edged weapon that does good damage, which is 10 points. So she's going to be doing about good damage to everybody, whether she punches them or hits them with the sai. She has incredible fighting, remarkable agility, good strength, remarkable endurance, good reason, incredible intuition and remarkable psyche. So she's not too bad. She's probably pretty close in terms to Wolverine in fighting skill and fighting ability, although she doesn't have the damage output he does, and she has no actual protection, so everything that hits her is going to hurt her. So that's her. Now we're going to move on to Blade. Yeah, let me tell you something here. The movies really buffed this guy up. So, Blade. Typically in the movie, you're going to see Blade using his signature stuff, his pistols, his little throwing thing, and his sword. As you can see on the character sheet here, he doesn't have any of that. So, we're going to go to the equipment section again. For handguns, he's probably using kind of similar to what Deadpool's using. He looks like he's using kind of like a machine pistol. So let's see if we can... Oh, here's one right here. Machine pistol. So that one actually does excellent 20 damage. But it costs poor 3. It has excellent range. It's a shooting type weapon. It's 1 shot per 1 shot. And excellent material strength. So he'll do a little more damage with that. And now let's come down here and take a look at swords. Now... he's not using a great sword. His sword is one-handed, so it's a regular sword. So it does good 10 damage with excellent material strength. Now, assuming it's the same sword from his Blade movie, it may have that little, the little thing where it wipes out the vampire's hand, if you remember. It may have that addition, and maybe his sword is probably equivalent to Deadpool's regular swords where it does excellent damage instead. But simple fact is, now his little throwing thing... I'm going to say it's kind of like a boomerang, but it looks like it's a metal boomerang. So it might cost a little more than poor. And it's edged, so I don't know. It might do... See, a shuriken is edged and it does the same damage as a boomerang. So I don't know if I call it a... And a knife does. So yeah, we're going to say it does the same damage. It's definitely edge throwing. And because it's made of metal, we'll give it the excellent material strength. So that would be what he does. Now, let's go back to him. Oops, that's not him. Here he is. Now, as you can see his stats, he has good fighting, good agility, typical strength, good endurance, typical reason, excellent intuition, and excellent psyche. He's going to get his hiney whooped, is what's going to happen to him. That's not what happens in the movie, but in the RPG, this guy's barely better than a normal human. I mean, barely. Your average human stats are poor, typical. He's barely better than a normal human. So yeah, that's Blade. All right, so now we have Gambit. Gambit, mostly, he's using his explosive power and his quarterstaff. So Gambit can use small objects such as pens, coins, and playing cards with his mutant energy, then use them to explode weapons. Such items can be thrown 2 areas away where they explode with up to remarkable 30 force damage. At Gambit's choosing, either one target or all targets in a single area are affected. His quarterstaff is a telescoping weapon which has excellent material strength and enables Gambit to inflict excellent 20 blunt damage. So that's what Gambit can do for the most part. His stats are remarkable fighting, incredible agility, good strength, remarkable endurance, good reason, remarkable intuition, and remarkable psyche. So that's Gambit. So there you go. He'll be okay, but depending on who he fights. All right, now let's look at the bad guys. We got Pyro. Now, I already kind of talked about Pyro a little bit earlier, and it seems I was mistaken in my video where I said he has monstrous ability to control fire. I re-looked it up again. He only has incredible. So even on a red feat, he cannot turn off Johnny Storm's flames. I was looking over here where it says monstrous over his control of the creatures. So that's my bad. I made a mistake. I'm man enough to admit I made a mistake. So just disregard that other video. He can't beat Johnny Storm. But Johnny Storm can't hurt him either, unless the only way they can win is by fighting each other, by fisticuffs, duking it out. So anyway, Pyro here has good fighting, good agility, typical strength, remarkable endurance, good reason, typical intuition, and good psyche. Now he has incredible ability to control fire. He can create flame creatures that do monstrous damage against flammable targets. He has monstrous control over those. That's why I was thinking monstrous. Okay, he has class 1000 resistance to fire and heat, which means he's not likely to get burned anytime soon. And to generate fire, he has his flamethrower, which creates remarkable intensity fire and has a range of 2 areas. His costume provides him with amazing protection against fire and heat. And like I said, it's probably just to protect his flamethrower from bursting into flames, I would guess. Is probably why that is. But anyway, that's Pyro. So now we got the guy that is the most broken character in the Marvel Universe. The guy that gets the shaft more than anyone in the entire series. This is the Juggernaut. Now everyone says, yeah, Juggernaut's tough and this and that. If you remember watching the original X-Men series, the movies back in the 2000s, they say while he's in motion, he's invulnerable. Well, guess what? Let's read it. Juggernaut is protected by both a Class 3000 force field covering his entire body and biological body armor of unearthly rank. The force field is effective against physical and energy attacks, radiation, toxins, corrosives, acids, and gases. It provides monstrous 75 protection against magical attacks. His mystic helmet provides unearthly 100 protection against mental attacks. It does not say while he's in motion. This is all the time. Okay? So what does that mean? Nobody can hurt this guy. That's what this means. Okay? When you see little X-23 running up there and, clipping his little ankles, she can't do that. I don't care what her stats are. Okay? The only people who can affect this guy are like Death, Eternity, and the Beyonder. Those are the only ones. Okay? Most Celestials can't hurt this dude. What's little X-23 gonna do? Nothing. Alright? So, yeah. You think Shadowcat can take Mr. Class 3000 force field with her incredible phasing and put him in the ground like she did? No. She can't do it. Okay? So, now you know how tough this dude is. Now, that's only how much damage he can take. Check this out. Remarkable fighting, not impressive. Poor agility, he's kind of clumsy. Unearthly strength, unearthly endurance. You know who else has those stats? Thor and Hercules, okay? This dude hits as hard as Thor, okay? Typical reason, poor intuition, and good psyche. So, let's talk a minute about this guy, okay? They say we have to, in the movie, they say we got to get Juggernaut's helmet off of him so that we can deal with what's-her-nuts, Cassandra Nova. Okay, how are you going to get his helmet off? How are you going to get it off? Okay, Wolverine only does monstrous damage. He can't do it. Gambit does remarkable. He can't do it. Blade, at best, does excellent damage. He can't do it. Right? Elektra does good damage. She can't do it. And I can tell you now, X-23, yeah, her claws might be class 1000 material strength, but she's not going to do 1000 points of damage. And on a red feat, she won't do 3000 because it flat out says it in the game. No character is allowed to do that, except for the ones that are already printed. She wasn't made before this game. So, you know, now maybe there's another Marvel Superheroes RPG out there somewhere. Maybe they have stats on her. If you want to go to the trouble to look for that, go ahead. But she has no stats in this game, and I'm sorry to say, I doubt she does that much more damage than Wolverine. Maybe she does unearthly. Maybe even Shift X or Shift Y. At best, Shift Z. At best, Shift Z. Which means on a red feat, she only does 1000. She's not going to hurt this guy. So, I'm sorry to say, whatever you've seen in the movies, bull crap, okay? This dude can't be beat by these guys, okay? Now, Doctor Strange comes along with a sleep spell. So, what's he got against magic? Monstrous 75. Doctor Strange has unearthly psyche. And in the Marvel Universe, your magic is based off your psyche. So Doctor Strange casts all of his magic at unearthly 100, which is one column shift higher than Juggernaut's resistance. It doesn't mean that it's automatically going to work on him. So if Doctor Strange casts a magical sleep on Juggernaut, that'll be at unearthly intensity. Juggernaut can roll a red feat on his resistance and actually resist it. Here's the problem. Doctor Strange, if he's in his home dimension, casting this at Juggernaut, automatically gets a +1 column shift to his magic for home turf advantage. So that means instead of casting at unearthly, he's casting at Shift X. Now it's 2 column shifts higher than Juggernaut's resistance. And if it's 2 column shifts higher, you don't get to roll. So as long as Doctor Strange makes a green feat, Juggy goes night-night. So Doctor Strange can beat him. Now, what about his unearthly resistance to mental attacks? Well, old Charles Xavier has telepathy at Shift X. So yes, he can read his mind and he can communicate with him. Now, there is a power stunt called telepathic push bolt under telepathy, and we'll see if we can find that real quick. Let's see, we want mental powers. Oh, bear with me just a moment. Oh, I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, power stunts include a telepathic push bolt as a bolt of mental force of power, rank, range, and damage using the energy attack call. Okay, so I guess that, I was thinking it did psionic damage. So yeah, it would be a force damage, so that wouldn't even hurt him. Linking the mind, yeah, whatever. Forming a mental probe, -2, okay, so. So basically, Miss What's-Her-Face over there, Juggernaut doesn't have to take her orders. If she has the same powers as Professor Charles Xavier, she can't even hurt him either. So if Juggy's working for her, it's because he's willingly working for her. That's what you're seeing there. So that's how, yeah, Juggernaut's the man. All right, this is a dude. If you send him to the DC Heroes RPG, he can straight out take a punch from Superman and not take any damage, depending on the role. So, but that's another RPG all entire. So let's move on to the Blob. Nothing moves the Blob. Now, we don't really see him fight. There's a couple of scenes where you kind of see him standing around. But if he were there fighting, let's take a look at him. So, Blob can flex his fat and break through resistance of up to excellent material strength. He has unearthly protection from physical attacks and amazing 50 to cold, heat, and energy attacks. Entrapment, Blob can hold an opponent with an equivalent of monstrous strength in the folds of his skin on a green Psyche feat. Once firmly planted, which takes 1 round, Blob can only be moved by an opponent of unearthly strength or greater, and then only on a red feat roll. He is immune to stuns and slams when planted. Okay, so of all the people you've seen so far, who do you think can hurt him? Nobody. Wolverine's the damage dealer at monstrous damage. On a red feat, he does unearthly. Blob can resist unearthly. Juggernaut, who has unearthly strength, needs a red feat just to move this guy. Now, on a red feat punch, Juggernaut can hurt him. He'll do 50 points of damage. So, Juggernaut's the only guy that can hurt this guy. Unfortunately, they're on the same team, so they're not going to be fighting each other. So, there you go. Blob has remarkable fighting, poor agility, remarkable strength, monstrous endurance, poor reason, good intuition, and excellent psyche. Now, we have Bullseye. I didn't see him in the fight, but according to this here, says he's right there, Bullseye. So we're gonna cover it. Okay. So Bullseye. We all remember Colin Farrell's Bullseye from the old Daredevil movie. So Bullseye has incredible fighting, remarkable agility, good strength, excellent endurance, typical reason, poor intuition, and typical psyche. He also apparently has an adamantium skeleton, which gives him pretty much the same thing Wolverine gets. +1 column shift to damage and blunt charging or any attack that uses his body. He's invulnerable to any kind of attack designed to break his bones, although he still suffers bruising or other internal damage. Now, I will tell you, there are people strong enough to break adamantium in Marvel. Again, they're like Celestials, things with class 1000 strength or more. Okay. Now, he is +1 column shift to attack with any throw and missile attack. His maximum range for throwing a baseball-sized mass is 100 feet. Bullseye is able to use any throwable object as a deadly weapon, including hairbrushes, vases, and even playing cards. Other talents include marksmanship. That gives you a +2 column shift to ranged attacks. I think with a specific range attack, if I remember right. So basically, yeah. So it doesn't give him any weapons that he can use here, but he's using Shuriken in the picture here. But again, he can use kind of anything. So let's just say Gambit throws one of his cards. With that remarkable agility, he could try and catch it, and then he could throw it back at Gambit or at someone else if he wants. So he could do that. So yeah, I mean, with the +1 column shift, he's throwing at incredible agility. With marksmanship, he's throwing at amazing agility. So, you know, he's not terrible. So, I mean, he's not that great either. All right, so enough of Bullseye. All right, let's move on to Callisto. I seen her in a couple of scenes, but I didn't see her doing much. Again, like I said, it was just crazy. So, Callisto has incredible fighting, excellent agility, good strength, excellent endurance, good reason, incredible intuition, and good psyche. Her powers are hypersensitive. She has incredible sense of sight, smell, hearing, touch, and taste, as well as nocturnal vision. Her heightened senses give her the following power stunts: incredible tracking, incredible detection of poisons, and anyone who tries to attack her through surprise are -6 column shifts to do so. She has a knife made of excellent material strength that does 10 points of damage. She has a slingshot with a range of 2 areas. This weapon can be employed to do up to 5 points of damage and may make stun pulls. So basically, in the movies, you mostly see her kind of using super speed and punching Storm. At least that's what I've seen her do. Unfortunately, she doesn't have super speed. So, not really sure. Like I said, I didn't see her much in the fight at all. I thought I saw her on Blade for a moment. I mean, that could have been Psylocke. They're dressed pretty much exactly the same in the movie. I mean, and I think I also saw her on Elektra for a moment. But, again, that could have been Psylocke also. So, you know, it's just... Yeah, so... I mean, she's not a damage dealer, but she can fight pretty good. So, you know, kind of medium level. Then we have Lady Deathstrike. Now, Lady Deathstrike has incredible fighting, excellent agility, good strength, remarkable endurance, typical reason, excellent intuition, and excellent psyche. She has a cyborg body that gives her claws of incredible material that do remarkable damage. It also gives her remarkable protection from physical and energy damage. So, yes, she can do some damage, not quite like Wolverine, about like Gambit's damage. And unlike most of the other people in this fight, she actually has some decent protection. So yeah, that's Lady Deathstrike. Nothing too great. Then we have Psylocke. Now, this is the Elizabeth Braddock version. I'm not sure which version they're using. They did not have Olivia Munn in there, so I'm not really sure. I didn't get a good look at her face, so I couldn't tell if he's Asian or not. So, but anyway, Psylocke has bionic eyes. This give her typical vision, and also allows Mojo to see what she sees. She has invisibility to electronic devices and recording devices. This is something that many of the X-Men have in the X-Forces book. Her power is actually a psychic knife. It's not a psychic whip or a psychic whatever. She makes a knife. By focusing her telepathic power, she causes this amazing psionic weapon to form in her right fist. To use it, she must first succeed a fighting feat to strike her opponent in combat. If hit, the victim suffers amazing energy damage and must automatically check for a stun on the battle effects table by rolling his psyche rather than his endurance. Now this right here, this is the girl that'll be the game changer in this fight. Unfortunately, she's working for the bad guys. Okay, so let's come over here. Let's take a look. Okay, Deadpool Psyche is good. Okay? Yeah, have fun with that. Wolverine Psyche, incredible. He's got a decent shot. Elektra has remarkable. Blade, excellent. And Gambit has remarkable. So, yeah, this girl... Now, like, remember, her Psychic Knife does 50 points of damage. Right? Deadpool has 90 health. That's over half his damage in one shot. Wolverine has 110. She can 3-shot Wolverine. Because remember, it's energy damage, not blunt or slicing. Alright, Elektra has no protection, so she can 3-shot Elektra. She 1-shots Blade. And then old Gambit here, she can 3-shot him too. So this girl is pretty tough. Old Psylocke. So, yeah, Psylocke's not a joke. Okay? It's a shame that she doesn't get more justice in the movies. And no, she can't hurt Juggernaut. So. Or Blob, for that matter. Okay. Now we got a guy, Toad. Oh my gosh. So Toad has poor fighting, remarkable agility, typical strength, excellent endurance, excellent reason, typical intuition, and poor psyche. Now, in the movies, you see him using his tongue a lot. As you can see here, nothing about a tongue. Okay? I think that's just something they did to add a little more character to him. If he did have this power of an elongated tongue, it might be maybe a prehensile limb power, maybe. You know, it could be maybe elongation of a body part or something like that. More than likely, it looks like it only goes maybe one area maximum. it would probably have a similar strength to his own strength, or maybe even his endurance at best. But what he does is he has remarkable leaping ability, allowing him to jump up to 30 feet by succeeding a red power feat. He can clear one entire area. However, his leaping ability allows him to do the following. He can make a single hopping attack against one target. This is a remarkable charging attack. Now, remember what I told you about charging attacks in the first video. Whatever you're charging into, you slam into. That means that you're going to take damage too. Okay? This guy has no body armor, so he's going to want to be careful who he does this to. What makes Toad particularly dangerous, though, is make a multiple hopping attack against up to 9 characters in a single area by bounding from one to another. Treat each hop separately as an excellent charging attack. Missing a target does not negate further attacks if Toad succeeds an agility feat. So this dude can literally attack 9 people at once. So he could go over there, hop over to Deadpool, hop over to Wolverine, hop over to Elektra, hop over to Blade, hop over to Gambit, hop back to Blade, hop back to Elektra, hop back to Wolverine, and hop back. This dude can hit all of them twice except for one. That's how good this guy is. Okay, now unfortunately it's only excellent 20 damage, but for a dude like Blade, that's devastating. Okay, so yeah, Toad is kind of underrated, but kind of I don't know. He's kind of crap. So he's kind of that middle of the road Marvel character. Okay, and then we have Quill. I came across his stats by accident, so I was looking for something else and came across him. So I did find Quill. So Quill, he has he's more normal human than Blade. Blade at least has a couple of X. This guy is actually the guy that Blade can beat up. He has 32 health, so most of the other team can throw a beat down on this guy. So Quill's body is covered with sharp, short needles, which can use the following: strike for excellent edge damage in melee combat, throw for excellent shooting damage at up to 3 areas. Now, here's where Quill becomes kind of a badass. Attacks involving multiple needles, but only one roll is made. The needles ignore body armor of remarkable material or less. That's everybody on the good guy side. Okay? That means when this guy stabs Wolverine, he don't get that, typical against slicing. This dude ignores it. His own suit gives him good protection for physical and energy. So he subtracts 10 damage from most damages. So yeah, that's Quill. So as you can already see, 5 good guys against 9 bad guys. The good guys are losing because they can't hurt Juggernaut. They can't hurt Blob. And you got dudes like Quill who can ignore body armor. You got Psylocke who can go around stunning people left and right. The good guys just aren't going to win. Okay? I'm sorry to say the good guys can't win this fight. There's just no way. They would need some... Now, if they had Johnny Storm there as well, maybe. He could go in, go supernova, that Shiv Z damage. The only dudes that'd be left standing would be Juggernaut and Blob. Well, maybe not Blob. But Juggernaut would definitely still be standing there. So Juggy would still be standing there. So yeah, that would be the only way. And I'm sorry, Pyro's incredible ability to suck 40 points out of that Shiv Z 500 Supernova, not going to make that big of a difference. So yeah, either way, they can't beat Juggernaut. They're not going to win. So like I said, it won't happen like it does in the movie. So there you have it. And like I said, Juggernaut, who does 100 points a punch, he can almost one-shot every character he comes across. Except for Wolverine, Elektra, and Gambit, I think. Because Blade goes out in one shot, and Deadpool goes out in one shot. So yeah, they're not going to beat Juggernaut. So there you go, kids. That's the video. That's the Deadpool and Wolverine series. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time.